How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Another acting tip of the week with Chase Yee, Doyen Artists. This helicopter just keeps circling. We'll try to ignore it. This week, I want to reference this book that I have, okay? It's an old book. It's from the 90s. Okay, around the time I was born. All right, here it is, plain and simple, How to Be a Working Actor. Now, this is the third edition. Okay, I can't imagine it's any different than the first or second edition, but in this book, there's a lot of useful knowledge. Okay, you might think that it's outdated because it's over 20, 30 years old, but there are a lot of principles, within the acting industry that are still relevant today, that still can make a huge impact on your success as an actor. Okay, and one of the things that this book talks about, which I think is really fascinating, is the audition process, right? Memorizing your lines for an audition. Okay, now, in some cases, a lot of people think that, you should totally be off book for every self-tape you do, right? But the truth is that casting directors, and a lot of people in casting, a lot of executives, they don't necessarily care if you have the lines memorized or not. Okay, which points me to this particular quote, okay, in this book. This is by a casting director named Gene Blythe. All right, actually, this person was a vice president of talent at Disney Studios. Okay, this is, again, I think 1994. But listen to this quote, all right? If you have an audition, don't make it the sole part of your day. Be coming from somewhere or be going to some place. Look clean and neat. Don't dress for the part. Allow some imagination for the director's process. Don't give them everything, even if you have it memorized. They don't need to know you've got it down. Use the page. Make them think you're prepared, not finished. Right? To me, a quote like that really changes the whole dynamic of what you think your self-tape needs to be. There doesn't need to be so much pressure on you when you're auditioning, okay? Because at the end of the day, you just need to be yourself, right? It's just you in a totally new set of circumstances. So when you keep that in mind, again, it alleviates a lot of that pressure that's on you, and you can really focus on the work, focus on the material. Just focus on doing the scene, hitting all those beats in the script that you need to hit, and coming across to casting, whoever's watching the video, as someone who's well put together. They know the lines. This person looks good. They can act. Why wouldn't we give them the part? Or why wouldn't we give them a call back so they can come back? We can do a chemistry read, a test screening, something like that, right? So keep that in mind. So the tip for today is that don't box yourself in with all this pressure of memorization. Okay, because let's be honest, sometimes you get an audition hours before it's due, right? I've gotten countless auditions where it's late Thursday night, 10 p.m., the sides come in, my agent says in the email, hey, this audition's due tomorrow at 10 a.m., and it's like, dude, I'm at dinner right now. I'm sitting like in a group of people. I don't even have a printer, when it's going to excuse myself. You could be at work, closing down the restaurant for the night, and you get an audition and it's like, you look at it, it's 6 pages long. You got 2 monologues you have to do. And yes, a lot of that pressure comes down to, hey, you're an actor. This is what you signed up for. You need to get your shit together, go home and start rehearsing, sure. But at the same time, there has to be some kind of a effortlessness that goes with the audition process. Okay, and by you using the paper, for example, it can eliminate a lot of that pressure, and it can allow you to just focus on the scene, focus on the words at hand. So, along with that quote by this VP executive, Disney executive, the other thing, all you need to think about is when you're using the paper for an audition, just don't let the paper get to a point where it's distracting you from interacting with your reader, or being on camera. For example, these lines, this is an old side I did for a film or something that I did. Let's read this together, okay? Pretend I'm acting in the scene, all right? I'm going to interact with my reader. Let's say this person is right here. And you're going to stay in the moment. Okay, that's it. Here we go. I mean, you're shooting it beautifully. But what are we saying with it? What are we saying with this piece? Well, it's an homage. For sure we're saying that she's done with childhood. Yeah, but I'm less worried about the homage, and I'm more worried about the panties in the shot. I just don't think we should be showing those kinds of things. Well, she's been totally quiet for a year. The first thing people see from her needs to be loud, right? Well, I know it needs to be loud. I mean, the whole piece is about, personality. It's about history, right? But listen, I didn't come here to shoot something that doesn't make sense. Okay, so here you go. That's a perfect example. I'm using the sheet for all this, right? I don't have any of this memorized. Okay, but anyone who's a good actor, or who can at least have, the ability to read, split focus, between two things, all you need to do is reference the paper. That's it. Just reference the material. If you take a beat to kind of look down and read something, come right back to the scene, that's totally fine. You're doing exactly what that quote says. You're leaving the imagination open to a casting director, to a director that, hey, this guy or this girl, whatever, this person has the material prepared. I mean, they obviously can read the lines. They have a sense of the character, but it leaves that mystique open to be like, yeah, at the same time, though, I could see them, maybe if we gave them a little bit of direction, they could totally, do it this way. Or, hey, listen, this guy's he's not even off book. He's doing a pretty good job. I wonder if, he's on set and he's got a few weeks to memorize the lines. I mean, he could really knock this out of the park. You see, it leaves the wheels turning for everybody involved. Whereas if I had this memorized, if I had this just down pat, you go into the audition, I'm dressing the part, I've rehearsed it for hours a certain way. Chances are when I do the tape, when I submit that tape, they're going to look at the tape and be like, this is what you see is what you get. Where's the flexibility with this guy? They might not notice any of that because, look, he's wearing a suit. He's got he's got all the lines memorized. He's doing it the same way. His inflection isn't really changing much. It's like, Then you're kind of leaving it open to the realm of, okay, either this guy is perfect for us or no, he's totally not what we're looking for. So it's a very fine line to experiment with. But I think by using the paper, again, if you're pressed for time, I think if you have all the time in the world and you want to memorize the lines, go for it. But don't be afraid to hold this in your hands just to let casting know, hey, this guy's he's working the material. You're working the material. You're not it's not set in stone, right? You haven't internalized it so much to the point where you're not flexible. You have no malleability to be something else, right? To try it a certain way. You want casting to know that, hey, this guy's a pro. This person is a real pro. But at the same time, we can mold them into anything we want. I mean, look at what potential is there now. It's all about potential. So think about that moving forward, okay, with your auditions. Use the paper. Don't be afraid. Don't look at this as a crutch, as something that's going to prevent you from doing a good job. It's a tool that can actually help you seem more desirable, It can help you be more relaxed in a take. It can help you come across as a professional, but at the same time, somewhat of a mystery, an enigma to casting and other people who are looking to fulfill these lead roles with an interesting person. And that can definitely be you. And you can use these tools, as a way to make yourself feel more relaxed and also give you an advantage, when trying to book that next role. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Doyen Artists, Acting Tip of the Week. Please give us a subscribe if you like this content. We're coming at you with new acting tips every week. If you have any questions or comments about anything specific, leave it in the comments section below. We'll definitely get back to you. And we just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, so until next week, be well, use all these tools, book that job, okay? Take care.